Hey, it's Yash. Here's a good one. Can you bear your own light? Can you bear it? Your own power, your majesticness. I remember something Marianne Williamson said in one of her books, and it was funny. There was a little spiritual quibble back then between, like, did she say it or did Nelson Mandela say it? I don't care who said it, but it's strong stuff. And here it is. It says, it's not that our deepest fear is that we're inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we're more powerful beyond measure. You see, that stuck with me because that was my thing. I used to play down. I'd play small because, I would just intimidate people. I'd make people uncomfortable my whole life. I didn't know what the hell was going on. When you're a child or when you're a teenager. I remember they wanted to give me Haldol medicine. It's not medicine, pharmaceutical drugs when I was 7 years old because of this nervous system disorder I had. And so I took it, and then there were side effects. So I told my parents, and then the doctor gave me another. It's like my bones felt like they were coming out of my skin. It was weird. There was constant spasms. So I told the parents, they told the doctor, and so then he gave me another medicine, pharmaceutical drug, to try to counteract that. And I said, like, what are we going to do? Like, just keep taking drugs for every single thing that goes wrong? I knew that wasn't the answer. I knew that taking the next drug was going to cause another problem. And then, like, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to fix something by just giving more drugs? Anyway, people don't like hearing that, especially if they're older than you, And it used to happen with jobs I would work at. I was very inquisitive. I'd like to know why. People used to call me that. Oh, there's why. Yeah, I'm why. And so I'd like to know, like, somebody'd say, well, this is how it should be. I said, but why though? If it made sense to me, I wouldn't say why. The thing is, most things didn't make sense to me, so I'd say why. And then they themselves don't know why, and so they get mad at me. And then I'd be like, damn, what'd I do wrong? Until I met my first and most, can I say best, authentic mentor when I was about 16. I got off drugs and I started going to NA meetings, and I met this guy, and man, he saved me. Like, he saved me. I remember I would tell people in the meetings, I'm like, man, I feel really bad. They're like, yeah, you got to work the steps harder. Something you're not doing right. That's always the thing, see? If you feel bad or if something's wrong with your body, you're doing something wrong. Like in the other video I was sharing about manifestation. If you're not manifesting your money, doing something wrong. If you're not manifesting perfect health, you're doing something wrong. You see? So I met this guy, and I said, man, I just feel really bad. He says, man, you're supposed to feel bad. He says, you're still detoxing off this marijuana that you quit. I said, yeah, but it's been like 3 months. He said, man, that shit can take years. Like it gets in your bone and your fat, not your bones, but your fat cells, everything. It takes a while to detox. Your brain, especially for some people, they have it harder than others. And he says, man, you're supposed to feel bad. And he started laughing. And then I laughed. I'm like, he gets it. And then we would have these long talks, and I'd tell him, man, people don't understand me, man. He says, no, they're not going to understand you, man. He says, you have a level of awareness that they don't have. You're expecting them to see things how you see them. He says, man, they don't see them that way. I said, but they're older, shouldn't they? He said, don't matter. It's not everybody, the people don't have certain levels of consciousness, And I just needed to hear that. I needed somebody that understood, what I was experiencing in this life, and because it wasn't good. I was like, what am I doing on this planet? Like, it's just everything I do, it just seems to be wrong or misunderstood. And so then he really helped me. And then when I got to my 20s, I was good. Like, it just didn't matter anymore what somebody thought or didn't think. And like, I trusted this inner sanction. And so if you're dealing with that or struggling with that, hopefully these words give some comfort. You're going to be, this is the thing. So you're going to feel isolated a little bit and alone once you start really, really raising in consciousness. What's the topic? Oh, I have it written down. Can you bear your own light? See, I'm spontaneous. I'm not following a script. Can you bear your own light? See, two things happen with that. Either people will they'll get mad at you, like me, they'll get resentful at you, especially if you can't articulate. You can't articulate, your experience. If you're not comfortable with your light, they're not going to be comfortable. Even if you are comfortable, they're not going to be comfortable. I mean, look at Jesus. He had a hard time. So either the people they'll get resentful at you. They just feel uncomfortable. They don't know why. They'll make up something. Oh, back to why I would ask why. They'd feel uncomfortable because they couldn't answer the question. I'm making them do introspection. I didn't know I was doing that, but that's what I was doing. Because they'd say something and I'd feel something's not right. Like, I don't believe you somehow. I wouldn't say that. I want to know more. Like, can you explain yourself a little bit? Because truly I wanted to understand. I wasn't trying to be catch them out or something. No, I wanted, because it didn't resonate with me. It didn't make sense. I wanted to understand. So I'm like, can you explain a little more? Maybe some different angles. They say, why do you always ask so many questions? And then later I realized they don't know themselves what they're saying. There's so many people talking nonsense, they don't even know themselves what they're saying. They're like tape recorders, parrots. They're just parroting stuff they heard from somebody who also didn't know what they're saying. And so nobody can really explain themselves. Nobody knows what they're saying. Then they get mad at you when you tell them, can you explain what you're saying? So this is where we're at, There's some people that can relate with me, I know it. So either you're going to have a rough time on that level, or people who something inside do resonate with you, they feel that you're living in a more complete version of yourself. They're not, but they want to. They have their spiritual karma tendencies have been activated, and they want some of that. They can intuitively sense it and smell it in you, and so they want to eat it. So they become attached to you, Maybe call you all the time. They won't leave you alone. They want that. So see, both sides is difficult. What one needs to do, the only way to really be comfortable with this and to intuitively know how to handle those situations, if somebody's resentful at you and treating you disrespectful, or somebody that's too attached, too hungry for you. Because you don't want to just dismiss them. It's a spiritual being. Like you want to, is there something here I can give you? Same with the person that's mad at you. You're activating some dormant light in them that they're not aware of, and they're mad at you. So how do you deal with those situations? You got to be grounded. You got to be grounded inside yourself. Intuition tells you how to deal with those situations. Whenever there seems to be a challenge, it's a little too much, you need to go for more God. See, God's the answer, always. So what do you do, though, in this situation? You go for more God. What does that mean? That means to stop trying to use your mind to try to figure something out that the mind could never begin to figure out. It has to come from intuition. There's some power that gets released in the form of certain words that you'll speak in these situations. This is your saving grace. And this power will show you how do you handle this light. Because the mind and ego can't handle it. It's scared of it. Like Nelson Mandela or Marianne Williamson said, we're scared of that light. This is what people are scared of. And so you need to own your light, but you can't do that without the light. The light will shine, and it'll show you how to handle the shine. So intuitively, you know what I mean. You got to listen to this intuition. Let it tell you what to do and what not to do and how to handle things. You can't use your mind to balance these things and try to figure out how to manage, high-level spiritual principles. Can't do it. The spiritual principles themselves will tell you how to manage and balance things. This is what this channel's about. Talk to you soon.